welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some repotting. We are going to repot my Spathiphyllum, my peace lily. I'm not going to repot it in the way you think I might though. I'm actually going to downsize this just because it was my first houseplant and I had no idea what I was doing when I got it. And I went from this size pot to this size pot, which is a bit of a difference. I've noticed that it doesn't actually get dry, like it doesn't dry out, it just continuously stays wet even if I don't water it. I want to get it out of this big pot before it actually has some issues, before it starts getting root rot or before it dies pretty much. Also, again, I had no idea what I was doing when I first got the plants. This doesn't really have any drainage holes. It has this little tiny hole which doesn't really count. Pretty sure it's an outdoor plant pot anyway, but yeah, it has no drainage. It needs to be repotted into a smaller pot. I'm gonna also have a look at the roots, make sure they're okay. But yeah, so keep watching if you want to see that. Okay, so we have the peace lily here. I'm just slightly out of frame, sorry. It's just easier for you to see everything if I have the camera like this. So she's still in good condition. It's not like she's gotten bad or she's dying or anything. I just want to get her out of this pot before anything bad does happen. So I am going to reuse the soil that reuse the soil that she's in, just because it's new soil. The soil is fine. It's just the pot is too big, so I'm going to reuse the soil, but I'm going to mix it with some more perlite and a bit of orchid bark just to kind of give it a bit more drainage and make it a little bit easier for the plant to survive in. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tip her over very gently and just put a bit of pressure on the sides just to loosen up the soil away from the pot itself. So while holding the base, I just like to kind of tip it slightly till it becomes loose. And then, just so I don't get a massive amount of soil on my towel, I'm just going to take my fingers in and lift it out. So like the size of these roots compared to the size of this pot is ridiculous. I obviously didn't know anything when I first got this plant and put it in this massive pot. I didn't need to be in this massive pot. So I usually don't like to annoy the roots too much, but just for the sake of making sure that there's no root rot or making sure that they're healthy, I am going to disturb the roots a little bit with this one. So just very gently with fingers, I'm just massaging away the soil. But these look very healthy, which I'm very happy about because, as I said, it was my first plant, so I don't want this thing to die. It's the last thing I want. Yeah, there are some very nice healthy roots that are root borne for you. So I'm just going to put this aside. And now I do make my own soil mixture. Through trial and error, I've found a nice little recipe. So I do, depending on how much drainage it needs. So when it comes to pothoses and philodendrons, which need a good amount of drainage, I would use 2 cups of soil to 1 cup perlite to 1 cup orchid bark. But with peace lilies, they don't really need as much drainage than that because they do like to stay somewhat moist. But I'm going to do 3 cups of soil to 1 cup perlite and 1 cup orchid bark. So I have my mixing bowl here. So I'm just going to 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be putting it in this size pot. So it is a good chunk smaller, but it will fit very nicely in this, and it should be a lot happier in this size pot. Here's hoping. I'm still learning, so we'll find out. Just so I have enough soil to fit in this, I'm just going to do another 3, and then I'll be doing 2 scoops of perlite and 2 scoops of orchid bark. So then you just mix all this together. So when it is thoroughly mixed together, you can go ahead and start filling up your pot. And now you just start kind of filling in the gaps, making sure that there's no air bubbles or anything, because you don't want the roots exposed too much, because that's not healthy for them. So I just do like a layer kind of all around, and then I just do a bit of a tap, making sure that they're all down there. And then just using my fingers, I'm just gonna kind of push it down. Again, making sure that there's no air bubbles. And then just keep adding, just keep on adding and pushing down. Obviously you don't want it to be too compact, because then there's the issue of water not running through properly because the soil is too compact. But just making sure that there's no air pockets or anything near the roots. Give it a little slap again. And there you go. She is nicely repotted now. She will be nice and healthy in this pot. No chance of getting root rot unless I completely smother her in water. But these are very hardy plants. That's why I like them so much. They're really good for air purifying. They just look beautiful. They're good for the soul. But yeah, so she should be a lot healthier. She should grow a little bit bigger. And then now I know for future reference, don't put a plant that comes in a nursery pot this size into a pot this size. Not good for the plant. And again, no drainage. So make sure you're getting positive drainage, and make sure you're not putting your brand new plants into pots that are too big, because it's not healthy for them. Let them get root bound. Let them sit in their nursery pots for as long as you can possibly go, and your plants will thank you for it. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching me repot this baby into a smaller pot. And I'll give you updates on how she does in this pot. All right, bye.